I think there are certainly kernels here and there with this Celtics team where you could say, I have real doubt that they will repeat. And, I don't want to bring it back to like a broader point, but it is just so interesting in the NBA. Like every time we get a new champion, everyone overreacts. Everyone says, "Oh, the Celtics are a dynasty. The Nuggets, who can ever beat them? They're going to win 4 straight titles. The Bucks, this is Giannis's time. He's going to be one of the 5 greatest players ever." It's just where we are in the league right now. There is so much talent. There's so many good teams that like taking away a broad mandate from a championship and saying that this team is going to run the league for the foreseeable future. I think I said this about Denver last year, and I said this about Boston to start this season. Like, I can't see anyone beating this team. Maybe we need to all, as a basketball watching community, collectively take a step back and remember how fucking hard it is to win a championship, how hard it is to repeat. And the league is just so obscenely talented right now that a team, even as you could still probably argue in terms of 1 through 6, Boston's the best team talent-wise in the league. It's still really, really, really damn hard to win a championship. And the Eastern Conference looks a lot better than it was last year. And I think this is something. I think this is definitely something. If you put a gun to my head right now, I would say Cleveland is probably the favorite in the East. It's close, but I think I would say Cleveland. And I would say Oklahoma City is certainly the favorite to win the title.
Cleveland got their fucking doors blown off against Oklahoma City last week. So for the showdown 2 or whatever they were calling it.
Oh yeah, that was.
So
what is it with Donovan Mitchell? Why can't he perform? He's getting outmeted. CJ, he's getting outmeted.
Well, that's why I would still take the Celtics in the East. Here's the thing, Hen. I think they can still win the championship. I still think they'll repeat. And I'll say this because I think the scale of how you grade these teams is different once you've gotten over the hump and actually won a championship. If you look back at some of these teams that were favorites, that had veteran players, that had players that had won championships, a la Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron, Golden State with Steph the year they won their 4th championship. These teams go through struggles. And especially at this point of the year, these teams go through struggles. And they find ways to get out of it. I am of the belief that a team that is a little bit battle-tested isn't necessarily a bad thing, because this team can say, they have literal evidence to say, we did this and we won a championship. So when you look at Cleveland and Oklahoma City, yeah, and Houston now is NBA.com at their power rankings. Houston's at 3. These are teams that are starting to run away with it a little bit, but these are young teams entering parts of this league and parts of the playoffs that they've never been before. They've never been the front runners. And because they've won so much, they also haven't skidded like this year either. So I would rather my team be stinking it up now than in March, for one. So I hear what you're saying. Maybe it was too soon to declare the Celtics could run it back. I still think they can. Because
I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying they can't.
2 seconds earlier.
I have real doubt that they will repeat.
You alluded that we were maybe a little over presumptuous. And I think Jason Tatum said that he thinks the slump will be a good thing for this team. And you know what? He might be right. If you're so bored, as this team sometimes appears to be when I watch them, you need something to look at as a North Star or a focal point. And their focal point has to be, we got to stop shitting the fucking bed here. And I also believe, too, because it's the first half of the year, every night, every team that plays the Celtics wants to give them their best effort. But the long season will weigh on those teams as well, you know? Like, some of these teams, I could just see them get up for the Celtics. Atlanta always gets up for Boston. They always play the Celtics well. Hell, they made a mini documentary about beating them last year on their 2-game stint where the Celtics were in Atlanta. They lost both those games. So teams get up to play Boston. I still think they are the favorite in the East. And push comes to shove against Oklahoma City, when the Celtics are going to get punched in the mouth in the playoffs a lot of times, they'll know how to respond. Tatum and Brown have more playoff appearances than anybody, I think, in the league at this point, not counting like the LeBrons and Steph Currys. Compared to the guys that you're saying are favorites, Tatum and Brown are way more battle tested than meated Shea and Donovan Mitchell. So that gives me confidence long term. In the short term, yeah, the Cavs and the Thunder are absolutely better than the Celtics right now. But in the long term, these guys have been in the hole before, and to quote Leo McGarry from the West Wing, they know the way out.
Oh, so that is a good little reference there.
You like that?
Done. Great job closing out the segment. My goodness.